Hello, and welcome to the Sam Fox School at Washington University's Digital Fabrication Instructional Series. In this video, we will be discussing safety protocol and operating procedures associated with our laser cutter lab located in Weil Hall. At this point, you should have a laser cut file ready to be processed. Monitors may be able to help with some last-minute issues, but the file handling should be done before you make an appointment. Upon entering the lab, please sign in at the front desk with the lab monitor. Failure to sign this sheet may result in being charged for a missed appointment. This log is cross-checked with appointment calendars to monitor missed appointments. On the desk in front, you will see a list of certain approved and unapproved materials. If you have a question about whether or not you can cut a material, please check with the monitor. Unapproved materials are disallowed for your safety. Some materials may catch fire or emit highly toxic fumes. This is the Universal Laser P6150D. Our lab currently contains 3. Upon approaching the machine, you may need to turn it on. The switch is located on the right side toward the back of the machine. Press it all the way towards you. Now would be a good time to measure your materials. The lab is equipped with both analog and digital calipers to measure your stock width. Our digital calipers measure in inches and millimeters, but for our purposes, you should be measuring in inches using the decimal function. This is an important measurement for using our material settings library. Once you have this number, write it down. Gently open the lid of the machine and place your material inside. Slide it to the top left corner of the bed where the numbers read 0 on the rulers. Your stock material should be completely flat, but if it is slightly bent, you can use a small amount of tape in the corner to keep it down. Material that is highly bowed or disfigured will not cut appropriately. Be sure there is no raised material that will obstruct the movement of the laser head. Now, at the computer, download your file from Whistlebox. Files are no longer accepted via flash drive for computer security purposes. It is recommended that all projects be saved in multiple file formats before uploading to Box to ensure maximum compatibility. Now let's cut a file from Illustrator. Open Illustrator and create a new document. Set the parameters to 32 inches wide and 18 inches high. This is the size of our laser beds. Set the color mode to RGB and click Create. Once the new document is open, drag and drop your art into Illustrator, next to your new document to create a separate document. Then, select your art and drag it into the previous blank page. This will allow you to scale your work in reference to the bed size. Turn on the rulers by going to the View drop-down menu and selecting Show Rulers from the Rulers option. This will help in positioning. If you know the size of your material, you can draw a rectangle around your work to match the material to assist in object placement and scale. You can delete this later. We will need to change the stroke width and color. The stroke width should always be 0.001 for a vector cut. With a vector cut, we will use the color red. This needs to be RGB red, not CMYK red. You can double check by clicking on the color in the stroke menu. This will open a color selections options window. Select RGB from the drop-down menu and drag the red slider to 255 and the green slider and blue sliders to 0. When you have established your colors and are ready to cut, go to File and hit Print. In the Print dialog window, select the PLS6150D from the printer drop-down window. Under Media Size, you can select User-Defined Landscape. This will orient the Print Preview window to the way you are viewing the laser cutter. In the event your art came in off-center in the Print Preview window, you can click on one of the small squares just to the right under the Options to reorient it to the top left corner. The print itself should not be scaled. Click the Setup button on the bottom left of the Print dialog menu. A warning will pop up. Simply click Continue. In the Printer Selection window, press the Preferences button. This will open Universal's proprietary printer client. Select Materials Database from the top menu bar and find your materials in the window below. If your material is not there, select something similar. Then enter the thickness of your stock you measured earlier and press Apply. Next, press Manual Control on the top and select your red color layer. This should say Vector under Mode. The most important thing to check at this time is that the flow setting to the right is selected for air. All adjustments in this window must be finalized by pressing the Set button. Press OK, then Print, and then Print again. Minimize Illustrator and open up UCP, which can be found on the desktop or in the taskbar. You should see your art here in red lines. Before beginning your job, open the damper and turn on the exhaust for the corresponding laser. Be sure to close the lid and press the big green play button in the UCP printer window. Your job should begin cutting. While your job is cutting, you should remain next to the laser. Do not ever leave the laser unattended. There will occasionally be a flame where the laser is cutting, but this is normal. Flames are only of concern when the fire is still present once the laser has moved on from that position. In the unlikely event of a fire, please notify staff immediately. Once your job has been completed, wait until the head of the laser repositions itself into its home location in the upper right corner of the machine. Then, you may open the door and remove your piece. It may be worthwhile to check that the laser has cut all the way through. Do this by holding down the piece with one hand and gently pulling up on a corner to see if the pieces fall through. If they have not been cut all the way through, release the corner without moving the piece, close the lid, and consider running the job again, or consult with a monitor on duty. Remove all scraps from the laser bed by hand. We have a small vacuum for picking up pieces that cannot be easily picked up. This vacuum clogs easily and should not be used to pick up large scraps. Dispose of your scraps appropriately. If at any point you don't feel comfortable performing these tasks on the laser, we have staff to help you. This concludes the laser cutting tutorial.